Hello, beautiful Andromedan starseeds and way showers and light workers, those highly evolved and highly telepathically, interdimensionally activated, holding new Earth's grid work inside your physical bodies. Hello, beautifuls. I'm Indigo Angel, and I was guided today on March 10th, 2018 to do an Andromedan Starseed Collective energy reading. And I'll be doing that for both Divine Feminine and Divine Masculine energies, combining the unified template for expanded Divine Feminine heart consciousness and higher mind, higher intelligence with your Divine Masculine, that alchemical union within. So I'm not going specifically Divine Feminine or Divine Masculine. But today I actually did just want to kind of give you guys a little bit of some planetary consciousness for March 10th. So we are going into, the moon is going into Capricorn today. So the moon going into Capricorn, really embracing our physicality, consciousness, and really connecting to the oversoul. The Capricorn rules the 10th dimensional house, foundational dimension in astrology and in galactic Gaia, essentially. And so that's really connecting to our higher self and choosing consciousness in every moment, and staying really grounded also in our physicality and our responsibilities. The moon goes into Capricorn, and it's also squaring Mars and Venus, and the moon in Capricorn is also squaring Venus in Aries, and I'm sorry, Mars in Aries and Venus in Aries. So when something comes up square to another, this typically means that this puts the planets at kind of a cross purpose, or like a frictional development between one another. So today Andromedan starseeds may be kind of at a friction with their physicality and their Divine Feminine and their Divine Masculine energies, and kind of going through this fidgetiness or this restlessness, maybe feeling a little uncomfortable today or even aggravated. So what more perfect time to do an energy reading and try to recalibrate our 12th dimensional aspects of ourselves. Okay, so I've actually spent the last couple months going through a major cosmic galactic consciousness attunement of my own, expanding 13 dimensions into quantum cognition. And I do believe that my purpose and my mission here is to assist with anchoring in these collective galactics into Gaia, and into our collective as humanity. So anchoring in the 13 species of the Milky Way, 12 dimensions of consciousness, 12 strands DNA, plus activations. So here I am resonating and attuning to Andromeda. Anyone who's a Pisces, your universal waters are the closest zodiac sign to Andromeda. You may be more naturally, instinctually calling Andromeda your home galaxy. So if you have any Pisces in your chart, in your natal chart, the more drawn to the Andromeda galaxy you're going to feel. The Andromeda planetary system, I believe, is called Zenite, and so we're actually attuning to their collective star number 42 and number 44, Tishtar, and their planets are also very watery planets. So any type of water in your natal chart, you're definitely going to be feeling this Andromeda collective. So that's pretty cool. Also, based off the stars' alignments, so if anyone who has a birthday between April 2nd to April 9th, or April 19th to May 18th, Andromeda is actually your birthday constellation. So you will naturally be drawn to Andromeda as well. A little mythology about Andromeda. It is an autumn and winter constellation, and south of Andromeda is Cassiopeia, her mother, and also the Sea of Ancient Babylon and Pisces. So, and the sea monsters there are waiting to devour her. So Andromeda is a little bit of a romance love story. She's essentially the princess that is chained out in space waiting for Perseus to come and rescue her. So I always start really resonating with Andromeda, the constellation, when I'm feeling those twin flame pulls kind of activating inside me. But really attuning to galactics is a process of really transcending those twin flame belief systems, the desire to ache and yearn for a lover, because this attuning to galactics is really about getting into your mission and your purpose and your role and what you're doing here. So my personal experience with attuning to Andromeda is they do typically present as a council, and a unity and a brotherhood. So through your ascension and descension and transcendence, expansion into multidimensionality, interstellar, intergalactic attuning, you essentially purify to these higher aspects of self. And Andromeda being a benevolent collective, very highly spiritually evolved. So, you know, I mean, that goes to say a lot. So if you're resonating Andromedan, you're probably pretty far along in your spiritual journey. If not, you're just wise beyond your years as well. They're very powerful equal opposites against the malevolent draconian species DNA. And Andromedans are actually originally from Lyra. So if you resonate Andromeda, you will also resonate Lyran too. Okay. I just wanted to talk a little bit about the ascension aspect. So as we move up the chakra column, we absorb energies into our light body system. We become rainbow, crystalline beings. We expand and we leave the individual consciousness and become merged into group identity and gain everything. As you start to access the higher levels of identity, you actually have the ability to feel and experience yourself as a group entity. So attuning to this Andromedan collective, you may be feeling as this group identity, as well as being able to observe yourself and your own individual identity. So it's kind of cool. I just want to say a couple more things about Andromeda. So if you're resonating Andromeda, you're more of a quiet warrior. Your masters and guides are playing in the shadows. So relaxed, easygoing, you fear your own power and afraid of what to do with your internal strength and your great potency. But you're actually here, and you're here to open up these energetic galactic pathways from the Milky Way to the Andromeda galaxy. So Andromedans are really anchoring in this interdimensional powering that we possess and this molecular reconstructing of our bodies. So crystalline, silicone, plasma consciousness. Andromedans really embrace the duality of right and left brain. Andromedas teach that the logical aspect of the brain are only really needed in the lower dimensions. So the third dimension, where we all exist. And so, yeah, really you're anchoring in, as a species, the shifting from logical to spatial thinking and whole brain thinking is the middle path, is what Andromedas ultimately are trying to teach. So I'll just go ahead and get right into the energy reading here. And I talk in a more galactic aspect, so I talk in a dimensional aspect. So as you listen to me more, you'll get used to my lingo, hopefully a little bit more, and I will be more easy to understand. I just want everybody, before I get into explaining, because I do go into dimensional aspects here with my angel cards, my Angels of Atlantis cards. So every dimension is interdimensionally, multidimensionally, simultaneous and parallel to. Every dimension is essentially a frequency that we attune to and then ultimately embody as fully conscious self. In between each dimension is veils of amnesia, belief systems, unconscious, human programming, karma, deprogramming that needs to clear, societal, generational, environmental, parental, ancestral, before any dimensional aspect of etheric self can activate. So I will be explaining the etheric selves, but in order to activate this is a process of deprogramming all of those aspects of self and attuning to collective energies. Okay. So Andromeda Starseeds, thank you so much for listening, and I'll just go ahead Let me start reading the cards here. Okay, so so I'll just explain a little bit. So this is the third dimensional aspect, the lower dimensional aspect, and there is no lower or higher. That's a duality game that our human mind tends to like to play, but there is no higher or lower. This is our existence. We are existing here, and it depends upon your experience that you're having. So you could be having a third dimensional experience, you could be having a fifth dimensional experience. So that's why I'm doing 2 cards for third dimension, your physical aspects and your mental aspects, and then 2 rows here for your fifth dimensional aspects, being your emotional and your spiritual aspects. Okay. Okay, so the first card that presents, and this is actually out of my Syrian Starseed Tarot. So I will be reading out of the Syrian Starseed Tarot, John Holland's The Psychic Tarot, and also the Angels of Atlantis Oracle cards. Okay, so in your Physicality Andromeda Starseed, the first card that presents is the 3 of Orbs. Okay, so this, in your physical aspects, and like I kind of said with the Moon in Capricorn this morning, and being square to Venus and Mars and Aries, there is a little bit of this friction and fidgety and irritability that's kind of developing in your physicality here. So this can be kind of a problematic card. Obscurities of the mind's illusions. So might be falling victim to your own illusions and delusions in this moment. It can be a dark hour of the soul even. So your visions might be clouded to your higher purpose right now. So really wanting to get back to yourself. If you're needing to take time right now to clear energy, which solitude actually came next. So, I mean, I think this is saying like, yes, you are needing to pull away. You are needing to take time. Because you're having a difficult, painful experience maybe in this moment. The key is to understand where there is the darkness and begin to transmute the suffering into learning. And maybe start asking what core beliefs or convictions have to be let go in order to allow possibility of a whole new paradigm to come forth and shift. Okay, so third dimensional experiences right now, even for starseeds, because we are transcending the human roles that we have to play right now. We are transcending lessons currently right now. So we do sometimes still have third dimensional experiences, and that is to actually transcend our consciousness into a higher state. So the next card that presents is Solitude. Number 9 in numerology is attainment. It is completion. It is, the qualities would be wise, compassionate, deeply responsible, and supportive. So you're needing to kind of pull away and provide these aspects for yourself right now. And number 9 in the tarot is also the Hermit. So needing to withdraw from even society and to become comfortable with oneself. The need to share your knowledge with others will come soon, but right now you're needing to pull away and take that time for yourself. Okay, so the next card that presents is Archangel Uriel. And I love these cards because they allow me to explain the 12-dimensional aspects. This is the solar plexus chakra. This does reside in the physical body. So this is inside the physical body. The message is abundance. Also representing freedom and friendship and trust. In astrology, so Gemini kind of rules the solar plexus chakra with Mercury. It is a mental aspect. It is a masculine aspect. And Gemini rules the third dimensional house. So this is all about embracing duality, humanism, versatility, your communicative aspects, your personal identity, because, you know, you can't manifest abundance until you really get down to the nitty-gritty of your personal identity, and your self-worth, and all of your self-care is kind of where abundance comes from. So really going within and trying to self-care, self-accept, self-express. Here is the space also where the unconscious human sleeps in slumber. Okay, so if anybody's seen in my other videos, I like to go into talking about how the unconscious human, I believe, is conscious of anywhere from 1 to 3 dimensions, 3-dimensional aspects of self. So not necessarily in the unconscious human sleeps in the house of Gemini, but meaning that the unconscious human is aware of 3 dimensions, and Gemini representing the 3rd dimension. So there's a little bit of a difference there. Your focus here is going to be on your clarity, on your wisdom, on your health. Uriel is the fire of God. He is the archangel of salvation. So he is the interpreter of visions, and Uriel brought alchemy to earth, duality, and gave the Kabbalah to man. So very powerful angel. If you practice any ritualistic magic, I do believe that Uriel sits to the north. Okay. Okay, so this is the mental aspect here. So in your mind, in your thoughts, more of your human mental mathematical matrix thoughts. This could be anchoring in more of your higher masculine mind as well. But for the purpose of this reading, I'm going to go ahead and say that this is just the 3rd dimensional experience. Okay, so 2 of Crystals presents. And 2 of Crystals is more of a physical aspect card, but pertaining more to balance. In your weighing out 2 options. So in your mind, you might kind of be Andromeda Starseed going through a physical battle. Like we already kind of established that you're kind of working through some things here. But on a mental aspect, you're really in your mind and you're thinking about 2 options in specific. I just want to keep the options open. Is it necessary to really choose between them? Is this something that you can combine the energies of both and be unified and balanced of yin and yang? As that Andromedan starseed, you're really bringing that completion together. You're really trying to anchor in thinking with the right and the left brain. So see how you can work on unifying. What tools are you choosing for this next journey? So think about your tools, because you can see how he's holding things in his hands. You have tools at your disposal. So I think this is the time that you need to use them to work through this aspect of self. Okay. So in your mental aspect, the next card is Rest and Rejuvenation. These are like slippery cards. The next card is Rest and Rejuvenation. Okay, so number 4 in numerology is all about creation, growth, grounding. This is also another mental aspect. This is ruled by Mercury. It's about being reliable, being consistent, being trustworthy, being loyal, being cautious though, being a conservative, and resting and rejuvenating to help you. I mean, you have solitude here, and then you have rest and rejuvenation here, Andromeda Starseed. So I'm saying that, you know, like pulling away is very necessary right now, because of, honestly, you have the planetary energies that, as much as we are manifestors of our own destiny, I do believe that we're equal with we're co-creators with the universe. So we are linking up to the planets, and we are linking up to the movement and the solar system and what's going on there. So taking this time to honor and to rest and rejuvenate. Also keep in mind, Number 4 in numerology is the Emperor. So this symbolizes the rule to, the desire to rule over one's surroundings. And so this is, just keep in mind, it's an illusion that we can control something. It is, we cannot control anything. So we have to release control here. Okay. And so, love this card, Haniel. This is the root chakra, and the message is courage. So this is all about that physicality consciousness. On an astrological level, this is Aries, this is Mars, this is masculine, this is fire, this is cardinal, this is grounding. Physicality conscious is very active, it's energetic, it's excitable, impulsive, optimistic. But here with this chakra, there's a lot of work we do here in root. As much as we expand to these 12 dimensional aspects of self, root being number 1, we constantly cycle around and come back to and learn something new. So keep in mind here in root, be aware of projections of your personality. Hold your shield of humility to feel protective. Find your strength in your convictions. Hope is your elixir. Challenges into truthful acceleration, your strength and your purpose. Keep in mind that ego resides in root, but I hate saying ego just resides in root, because really ego resides in your entire physical body. Ego resides in your DNA. Ego, I feel like, is not even, it's the outdated word for it anymore, honestly, because they're all aspects of self that we come to be conscious of and be aware of. And there is no good and bad. We're all perfect. And as we are, the way we should be, the way that we are, and we're all just working through the transcendence of these new human roles and experiences, and getting on your soul mission and getting into your life purpose. This is what this expansion is about, is going within. So your focus here is forward momentum, courage and motivation, okay? So this is the 5th dimensional messages. These are your emotional aspects. Okay, so Starseed, I love this card. This also equivalents to the Fool in the major arcana. Here the spirit is in search of experience, represents mystical cleverness and childlike abilities to tune into the inner workings of the world. If you're a Fool / Starseed, Andromeda Starseed, you're carrying 13 strands of light encoded DNA. You've had heart consciousness expansion. The heart opening is what expands you and connects you to the monad and to the seat of the soul. Okay, once you have activated this expansion within yourself, this now becomes activated in your DNA, in your RNA. This mutates and this becomes you, and this becomes your reality, and you fully self-embody these aspects. So this is 12 perfect strands of Christed consciousness, of Andromedan consciousness, 12 to 22 interdimensional realms expanded. So once you go 12 plus, you're in galactics. You are now starting to anchor in these collectives from Zenite, from star number 42 and 44. So this is the leaping of the soul into the physical. Your spirit is preparing to manifest. You might even be seeing 1111 a lot right now, because this is a cycle. It can come back around. You might have seen 1111 for a while a few months ago, and now you've gone through this process. You're starting over. You're at attainment, and you're starting now as the Starseed. So you want to just kind of ask the questions. Do I trust my soul intention? How am I leaping into the unknown? And how am I being guided and staying conscious and aware in every moment, so you can anchor in this galactic Andromedan collective into your reality? So the next card that presents is victory and success. Number 6 in numerology is harmony, family, home, ruled by Venus. This is your loving, caring, gentle nature here. 6 is also the Lovers in the tarot. So this really just has, you know, your heart's in a really good place right now. I mean, it's symbolic of the impulse that drives the human towards adulthood, is the desire to love, the desire to have that soul connection. When you've gone into galactics, though, you've kind of separated from that, and now you're on soul mission. Now you're, what are you doing to support and help others? And as a way shower and a light worker, it's just who's ready to step into these roles now and fulfill these roles and be one anchoring in these higher galactic frequencies into the planet. So Archangel Haniel again, so a lot of physicality going on for the Andromedas right now. It looks like we have 1, 2, 3 root chakra cards, or first dimension, which would be that physicality consciousness. So Archangel Haniel is the sacred warrior. He is the warrior of courage and hope, integrity, willpower. You can see the scales here. So emotionally, you're very grounded. And just keep in mind that this is the support. This is the foundation. This is the security. This is the safety. This is the self-preservation. This is a beautiful aspect to be conscious and aware of in your emotional body. Okay, so your spiritual messages are the 10 of crystals. Okay, so spiritually, Andromedan, Starseed, you're experiencing wealth and security, which is beautiful. This is in the spiritual aspect, so I don't want to say that this is for the materialistic goods, but just be thinking about how to hold on to and protect possessions. If you have beautiful things in your spiritual aspect, I know I definitely hit up the metaphysical stores and buy a lot of spiritual possessions. But then you have to worry about being robbed of your fortunes. So how do you enjoy your success without worrying of being robbed of possessions? I think that's the ultimate question here. Can you take time to enjoy benefits of all you've created and relax into it? What are you giving back to loved ones, to your community, for unity? Andromedas are all about unity. They're all about brotherhood. They present as a collective. So as an Andromedan starseed, what are you doing to anchor in this unity into the fifth dimensional Gaia, into our reality, into humanity? How are you contributing? How are you stepping up? How are you being in service to the higher collective octaves that we're all feeling very much on this planet right now? So it's a beautiful card. I actually love that card. Okay, so the next card is Firm Foundation. So like I said, a lot of grounding. This is the 3rd root chakra card. I always think of this card as a root chakra, grounding, firm foundation. Number 4 numerology is that creation, that growth, that grounding, ruled by Mercury. It's a mental aspect, but it's a very mental aspect. Just be cautious of becoming stubborn, becoming obstructive, becoming confronting, antagonistic, righteous. There is no higher or lower. We have to see people for their higher self aspects. And if they present an aspect that's very, very human, then be surprised. But don't go into relationships, spiritual relationships, emotional friendships, relationships, your everyday to day life, expecting to see the humanism and the decaying of society. Expect to see the opposite and then be surprised when you don't. And then that's when you start to make your choices and become aware if this is something you're going to allow in your reality anymore or not. Okay, and so the last card that presents for the spiritual aspect is Archangel Michael. Okay, so this is 7th dimensional consciousness. This is ruled by Libra in astrology. So Venus, so this is the 7th dimensional house. So Libras are really all about being active, artistic, easygoing, beauty and harmony, enchantment, being diplomatic, just love and beauty. This is your I am presence. This is your balance. This is your enlightenment. This is Archangel Michael. This is consciousness and awareness being activated, higher mind realizations, major downloads and upgrades, transcending of your limitations. And a couple other words that go along with enchantment would be transmutation, patience. And so your focus here is embracing universal impulse, manifestation, and abundance. And this is a beautiful card to get in the spiritual aspect. I think it's confirmation that Andromeda and Starseed, you are right in line with where you need to be. But definitely, I think starting the reading off with knowing that you're going through some mental things here, and then also weighing out some things. You're very grounded in your physicality, so you might actually not be reaching your full potential of expansion in this moment, just based off of these cards. But you are aware, and you do hold this very dear to your heart. You're just needing to go within and withdraw and collect yourself and let that expansion come back to you when it's ready. You're probably in somewhat of a descension right now, if I had to guess, which I don't have to guess, I know because I'm reading the cards. But what's gonna go down is gonna come up as long as your heart stays open. As soon as we close our hearts, we go unconscious. So we have to focus on our fears daily and transmute these fears as soon as we feel them, and transmute them so that way we can keep our heart open. When we start shutting down is when we go unconscious, we enter back into the matrix, and we start the process all over again of learning a lesson, creating karma, or transmuting something that needs to be pushed through on a cellular level within our bodies. This is in our physical bodies. So, okay, well, I hope everybody enjoyed this Andromedan collective reading today. Just keep in mind too, there's a lot less souls that actually incarnated here from Andromeda than the Milky Way galaxy. Andromeda starseeds are a very small amount of Andromedans. The energy used and the frequency from Andromeda galaxy is very different than here and affects the amount of soul energy incarnating. So Andromedans, you are a very evolved spiritual being. So just know that these descensions, they can last a day, they can last a few weeks. I personally just went through one that lasted 4 weeks. I'm just now starting to feel like myself again, and get back into my creation. So if you're going through that, just know that do whatever it takes to honor whatever it is that you're going through in this moment. The moon's in Capricorn, Saturn's even in Capricorn, so we're all being held. Saturn in Capricorn is its natural placement. Saturn rules the oversoul. Saturn rules the 10th dimensional house. Capricorn rules the 10th dimensional house. We are all being held responsible now to our physicality. I don't think anybody can escape this on the planet, because this is planetary consciousness. This is planetary ascension. So just know that we're all being, just handle those responsibilities. Handle everything that you got to do, whatever your oversoul is telling you, whether that's get up and go pay bills, whether that's get up and go make some phone calls or some faxes and do all that, to me, annoying physical stuff that we have to do. You got to get up and anchor it in, so that way you can keep on moving, because Saturn right now is holding us all to this. Okay, well, I had a wonderful time doing this reading with all of y'all, so I'm just going to go ahead and clear the energy for the Andromedan Collective. So I am sending so much Mahatma unconditional love to all the Andromedan starseeds, all of my starseeds, Arcturian, Pleiadian, Lyran, even the Alpha Draconians, the Greys, the Orions. I'm going to get into that at some point, but right now we're just going Andromedan. So I hope everyone has a wonderful, beautiful day, and Mahatma unconditional love to everybody, and happy transmutation. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.